Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's Jasmine, the Ahsoka Tano fan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So guys, it is time for the finale of the Acolyte, hence my Witch of Brendok inspired look. As you can see, I'm wearing a cape here and the color purple. We've seen that color be prominent amongst the Witch Coven of Brendok. But yeah guys, the finale is already here and it honestly just feels like yesterday the series premiered. It's been quite the ride. When the show first started, I did kind of have my concerns about it, and I mentioned several times now that I thought it had a lot of potential story-wise, but something was kind of missing from the direction and the execution. I still would not say that so far it's been as strong a show as other Star Wars projects we've seen, but I do think it has had a lot of good moments, and that's worth noting. So last episode, guys, we finally saw what happened 16 years ago on Brendok. We saw how basically the Jedi, long story short, interfered too much, and their actions arguably ended up causing the destruction of an entire coven, and which they tried to cover up later. There's a lot of conflict though amongst the witches and the Jedi. You saw that in Dara, for example, amongst the Jedi, she did not want to interfere, but Sol really wanted to interfere because he felt as though the twins were in danger. Amongst the witches, Mother Anastasia wanted to respect Osha's wish to leave and join the Jedi. Mother Coral was not having it. So I do appreciate that they kind of showed the various perspectives from all of these characters, and you can kind of see where everybody was coming from. So now for this episode, I expect that we are going to have to tie up some loose ends here. Now that we've finally answered the question as to what happened back on Brendok, we have to now find out the remaining answers to the other questions we have, which is, why did Osha leave the Order? How will Osha react if she finds out the truth, or when she finds out the truth? Is there going to be a Sol and Qimir confrontation? Is Osha's mind going to be swayed more towards joining Qimir, and is she going to perhaps drift away from Sol a little bit after hearing the truth? How did Qimir get those marks on his back? What is Qimir's backstory? I know some of you guys had your thoughts about that earlier on in another video, where you thought Vernestra might have been his former master. So all in all, guys, definitely lots of questions that they still need to answer. Unless they're potentially planning on having another season, I would hope that they would tie up at least most of this in this episode, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Anyways, guys, I don't want to speculate too much. Without further ado, let's slice our way into the finale of season 1 of the Acolyte and check out what's in store for us. I noticed this episode's also called The Acolyte, so it's kind of cool that the title of the finale is also the title of the series. So she's still got the helmet on, sounds like. She feeling like Darth Vader.
Osha.
What's going on right now? What? Is she choking? What? Whoa, what did she see? Look at her eyes. Whoa, that was the most emotion we've seen from him as well.
It's me.
Where is she?
She had a saber in her hand.
This is the future you saw.
So she's having visions like Anakin did. What a coincidence.
With what ship? I'm taking mine.
Oh, she's gonna go with him.
I've seen where they are.
So we go together.
But Sol is also on his way somewhere.
Brendok.
Oh, okay, Brenda.
Why?
I will contact Master Vernestra. What happened to you, to your coven, was an accident.
Then why didn't you tell Osha?
That is kind of a good point, I'm not gonna lie.
You locked everyone in.
Because the Jedi invaded our home. Everyone in there died because of the 4 of you.
My biggest regret is that I wasn't able to save you both. I'm not twins.
You're the same person. You are both your mother.
You're...
Oh! Damn, I wasn't expecting her to do that like so fast. I thought maybe she'd undo the restraints and then sneak away when he wasn't looking. Because what's she gonna do now? Trying to escape?
The escape ship.
But isn't she also trying to kill him? So why would she try and escape?
See you in hell, Jedi.
See you in hell. Interesting. That's kind of an odd thing for her to say. Also, guys, have we ever heard someone refer to hell like that in the Star Wars universe? Does hell exist in their philosophy? Right? Because they never talk about heaven. They always talk about joining the Force, being one with the Force.
It's just something out of hyperdrive.
She kind of looks like Luke there a little bit. The way that she's dressed and how she's flying the ship.
It's too big to follow us in here.
Is this visually supposed to look like Luke flying up on the Death Star? That was Kylo Ren's theme again, but a different rendition. What's the significance of that? Don't distract him, Basil. What is he doing? Unless, is he on her side now or something? What? Why would he do that? Oh man, now she's crashing just like her sister did in episode 1. Or her sister. They're technically not sisters.
Senator Raincourt's here to see you.
You let him in the control room?
She did not seem happy.
I was surprised when they said you were traveling through hyperspace. How was your stomach?
Oh,
It's my
him.
head, actually.
You're running a murder
Well, what's wrong with her
investigation
head?
without reporting it to the Senate.
I have the authority to take independent action if there's no larger threat. All the victims were Jedi.
There are multiple victims.
Oh.
I think the Jedi are a massive system of unchecked power, posing as a religion. You project an image of goodness and restraint. But it's only a matter of time before one of you snaps.
The majority of my colleagues can't imagine a galaxy without the Jedi.
Is that all, Senator?
She doesn't even seem phased.
I have reported your lack of transparency to Chancellor Drellick. He may invite you to a Senate tribunal for an update.
Oh.
Good luck. Now, what is it you say?
May the force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Oh man. Definitely starting to see why the Jedi ended up having more like Senate infiltration or Senate oversight and military oversight, and why by the time we get to the prequel era they have to get permission to do a lot of things.
Should be trained.
Told you, I'm not my sister.
He looks disappointed.
They made that deal without even thinking about it.
Who else is there? What is that? What or who was that? Is that somehow Darth Plagueis? The eyes kind of, I don't know. This has got to be giving him a serious case of deja vu. What's he up to, Basil?
All the way back home.
What did she just do? I guess she doesn't want to hear what he has to say. I'm kind of wondering what May's plan is, though. I thought she wanted to kill Soul. But if she did, then why didn't she just do it when she was on the ship? That's where it happened, eh? I still don't get why he did that.
Getting this elevator operational is the only way in. Unless you want to climb.
Are you sure?
What? That's gotta be pretty haunting. Oh, I was gonna say, why is the camera going like that? So is that May or Osha? Okay, it's May. They're both really looking like the other. She looks exactly like Osha in episode 1. And then Osha looks like May in episode 1, except she's not wearing purple. So that's her in Osha's room, I believe. Did they purposely make that elevator hard to operate so nobody would invade their home?
Thank you for leading me to her.
Oh, another duel. I kind of don't want either of them to die. So last time, Qimir wanted to kill May because she betrayed him, he said. So does he still want to kill her? Or... Alright. Man, they're about to start another fire. Man, again with the Matrix type shot.
I will destroy you if I must.
Not if she gets you first.
2 lightsabers. One a Shoto, one regular length. Just like Ahsoka. Watch out, Soul. What? What just happened there? What? That happened so fast. That's kind of cool though. He's throwing them around like boomerangs.
All of this death, everything that happened here.
They have very different
because you
memories.
didn't want me to become a Jedi. I didn't do this.
He kind of did though.
He tried to teach me to accept that someone that I love could be capable of this level of destruction. My hatred of you, my grief over our mother.
Yikes. That's gotta hurt.
So I never became a Jedi.
Well, that's what happened.
I guess in the end you got what you wanted.
Oh, so she was never a Jedi in the
Soul
first place.
killed our mother. How could he teach you to control your negative emotions? He's the reason you have them.
Now she's thinking Qimir was right, because Qimir told her that you had all these emotions and the Jedi cast you aside. Oh. That's awkward. Why are they fighting each other, man? Hug and make up now. Oh. That was a sick move. I feel like that was another Matrix move, actually. Didn't Morpheus do something like that? Oh, that was kind of cool. That transition. No, that's Vernestra.
Now you pay for what you've done.
Oh, they're not here for me.
It's actually a good point. I don't really know who they're here for at the end of the day. But it's interesting though, because if Soul happens to kill Qimir, he will kind of look more guilty. Oh my gosh. Did he just kill him the way Ahsoka killed the Inquisitor and the way Obi-Wan killed Maul? Or did he just slice his weapon? Okay, he just sliced his weapon. What's he gonna do? Kill him or take him alive? What? So are both sisters gonna fight him now? Oh, she cracked it open.
And your journey will be complete.
Maybe, just maybe she'll walk her own path and listen to neither of them.
I want him to confess what he did. I want him to face the High Council.
Oh.
I did the right thing.
Minus killing them all. That was kind of bad.
I wanted to protect you both. You and Osha are the same person.
Oh yeah, he never got to finish telling her because she stunned him.
I believe she used the Force to create you and Osha.
Don't turn your back on Qimir now.
History of the galaxy. Very few have been that powerful.
Oh, what's Osha gonna do now?
And you killed her.
Oh, and Osha's right there.
Killed our mother.
He's gonna confess it and she's gonna hear it. Would Osha kill him, you think? Did she hear that from that distance?
Is that true?
It was the right thing to do.
If it was the right thing to do, why didn't you tell the Jedi?
That's what May asked him too. They really are the same person.
They would have sent you away. I did what I thought was best for you. I wanted to tell you so many times, but I couldn't.
She's kind of holding that lightsaber in a threatening way. She choking him? Who's choking him right now? Qimir or him? Or her? She's doing it! She really just tapped into her Darth Vader. Is she about to kill him? No, don't kill him like that. Oh, she's turning the crystal red. Whoa, he's accepting his own demise. Is she gonna let him go or let him die? Oh, she's tightening her grip. That's not good. Damn. She was choking also herself, basically. I guess she couldn't really believe what she just did. Wow. So she just followed his teachings. Because his teachings were to give in to your emotions. And that's exactly what she did. And she killed without a weapon. Oh! It's turning red. Wow, so Soul's dead? So Osha was meant to be the Acolyte all along. Oh my gosh. So what's Vernestra gonna do now? All these Jedi are walking to their deaths, basically.
You.
Oh, that... He is her Padawan. Yeah, I feel like Vernestra is gonna want to kill all of them to cover this up even more.
Come with me. I know a way out.
And what about... Where did Qimir go? Did he just take off? Oh yeah, that's how she survived. She could sense all that, eh? Qimir looked a little scared though when he sensed Vernestra. Is he hiding from her, or is he trying to hide from her so he can sneak up on her? No, so... What did she tell him? I guess we'll never know. So Basil's tracking their scent. You see how the music's kind of upbeat there? I would almost kind of expect the tone to be a bit darker considering Soul just died like that, you know? That was a pretty significant moment and a dark moment.
I'm sorry I started that fire.
Yeah, she was kind of dumb for that, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, damn. This scene is nice.
You are with me. I am with you.
Always one, born as two.
If I can find you, so can the Jedi.
I don't know why this guy's kind of funny. Come here.
Osha, when they find out how powerful you are.
You will meet the same fate as our mother. What do we do?
Should have maybe thought about that also before you killed him like that.
Let my sister go and I will train with you. Are you sure?
Oh, okay.
I can attempt to wipe her memory.
Oh, that would be kind of drastic. That would be a lot.
Do it.
No way.
You're going to do what you were meant to do. And I won't stop you this time.
Instead of being a Jedi, you're going to become a Sith. Honestly, if it were me, I think I would just take off with my sister somewhere. Or my sister. I wouldn't join any organization, wouldn't follow anyone. Because even if she goes off with him, then what? What kind of life does that lead to? And she can't even find her way back to her sister because her sister won't remember who she is.
Always one.
Born as two.
Born as two.
Oh, snap.
As above since the start.
Oh, no. Not yet, Qimir. Oh, no. Why did he do it so early? He's a menace for that.
I give you and you give. You give.
Kind of sad. Why does that remind me of... Why does this scene almost kind of remind you of... I don't know, of having a loved one that has dementia or something.
Lay down any weapons that you have and surrender.
What did I do?
Man, that's going to be so traumatic for her, though, because we're never going to believe that her mind was wiped. And isn't she still going to be blamed for all the crimes? Because now Soul's dead. Vernestra is the only one alive who knows the truth.
Remove her restraints.
Ooh, that's a new outfit she's wearing there. What is this?
What do you remember?
I'm seeing a man killed my mother.
Oh, you know what? I hope Vernestra doesn't just kill her to tie up loose ends.
There's someone that I need to tell. I can't find her.
That man who killed your mother was a Jedi. He was my friend.
Is she telling her the truth?
Compassionate man. And he did a terrible thing.
Oh, now maybe we're gonna find out what she told him.
16 years ago, 4 Jedi were stationed on the planet Brendok. A conflict ensued. There were many casualties. Recently, when the truth threatened to come out, a rogue Jedi named Soul killed his accomplices.
Oh, hell no. She say I'm sorry? Wow.
We wholly condemn the actions of Master
Oh,
Soul.
hell no.
Chancellor, we cannot wait for
That is so sad and so unfair.
He was found dead on Brendok.
And she burned his
I believe
body.
he ended his own life.
Oh my god. You know, guys, this is something that you'd almost think could happen in real life. If, you know, there's kind of theories out there and stuff, conspiracy theories that
He justified every
People
selfish step.
might want you taken out and they might stage it as a suicide.
Does the name Osha mean anything?
Yeah, she's got to know Osha because her memories are from when she was 8.
I need you to help me find someone. A pupil of mine.
Qimir. See, now I'm almost wishing this whole show had Qimir going after Vernestra for revenge rather than him just randomly killing those Jedi. Oh, he's holding her hand. He kind of likes her. I don't care what anybody else says. There's something there. Interesting.
Sorry to disturb you, Master.
Who's our master?
We need to talk.
What? Wait, actually, okay, hang on a second. Hang on. My first thought is Yoda, but could that also be Yaddle? What? Alright guys, so that was actually a pretty decent episode. To be honest, I'm kind of more hyped after that episode, more so than other episodes even, I would say. Sorry if my hair's starting to frizz up here, the humidity is crazy. So, first of all, I want to talk about the ending. I am guessing that was Yoda that we saw there. Yoda that was, perhaps. The other possibility is Yaddle. We saw her in the prequels, but let's just assume that it is Yoda. That's definitely interesting because he would have had some knowledge potentially of everything that went down. Or did he actually know the full story? Did Vernestra lie to him the way that she lied to everybody else? Or is she even going to talk to Yoda about what happened regarding Osha and May and Sol? Or is she going to instead talk to him about her own former apprentice, Qimir? Is it possible that Dooku might have known to some degree about the Jedi cover-ups regarding Vernestra's former pupil, as well as what went down with Osha May and Sol? We do know that Dooku obviously was Yoda's Padawan at one point, and then he ended up turning to the dark side, but perhaps he saw something in the Jedi that he didn't like, and that's what caused him to go down the path he did in the first place. Maybe this played a part in that, what happened with Vernestra. Who knows, right? But it's definitely a whole door of possibilities here now that we've seen a prequel character in the Acolyte. So that was actually a nice touch there. I didn't expect that. The other thing I didn't expect was to see who I thought was potentially Darth Plagueis. We saw somebody briefly on Qimir's planet kind of lurking in the shadows, and judging by the eyes and the face, it looked like it might have been him. If that's the case, so does that mean that he is Qimir's master? During the big duel between Qimir, Sol, and the rest of the Jedi, where all the Jedi got killed, Sol did ask Qimir about his master, but we never actually found out the answer to that. We know that it seems as though his former master was Vernestra, confirmed in this episode, which we're going to get to that in a second. But what if his current master is somehow Darth Plagueis, and that would essentially mean that both he and Palpatine had the same master? So that's also kind of a nice touch. I do like that this episode made the effort to tie in directly to the prequels. And should there be a season 2, I wonder if we will see more of these characters, or if not these characters specifically, I guess have more tie-ins into the prequels. Alright, so we gotta talk about Vernestra for a second. Man, oh man, I'm so disappointed in what she told the council. I did not like that at all, how she pinned everything on Sol. So first of all, it was confirmed this episode that Qimir was her former apprentice, and a few of you guys had called that out previously in my comments, so you guys are right on that. And that was the purpose of us seeing her lightsaber whip. That was literally the only purpose of that scene, to show us that she had that lightsaber. Otherwise it would have made no sense, really. It would have just kind of been a random scene. So what that kind of makes me feel is that I almost wish Qimir this season had been seeking out Vernestra specifically for revenge rather than killing all those Jedi and trying to recruit an apprentice. I feel like I would have liked to have seen that, or maybe not in place of what we saw from Qimir, but in addition to what we saw from Qimir. I think that would have been a very interesting storyline to kind of parallel Osha and May's storyline. But then again, if we do get a season 2 of this, maybe that will be the main focus going forward, for him to get revenge on his former master and for us to find out more about what happened there. But yeah, we really saw what Vernestra was capable of this episode. I don't believe she's the kind of person that will go out of her way to do bad things, but it does seem as though when she is pushed into a corner, she isn't afraid to do what she feels is necessary and what has to be done. And we really saw that demonstrated this episode. Even in her wardrobe, you could see that she's wearing a mixture of light and dark colors, and quite literally she is capable of both more kind acts, you could say, and also darker acts and deceit. And she showed just that by the way she lied in front of the High Council. And as much as she lied, she also did partially tell the truth. She did say that he was a kind, compassionate man that did something bad, that made a mistake, and his love for the twins kind of twisted his mind. All that is actually kind of true. That really did cause him to make a lot of mistakes. But of course, she definitely twisted the truth a lot, and she did tell some flat out lies saying that he is the one that killed his accomplices and whatnot, and then he killed himself. So yeah, that was really sad. I'm just sad overall with what happened with Soul. Not only did he die, but now his memory is disgraced as well. And it kind of makes you wonder two things. One, what else the Jedi are potentially covering up, just in general in the prequels and the original trilogy. If they're capable of this, what else could they be capable of covering up? But it also makes you wonder too, did Osha make the right choice by killing Soul? Because in her doing that, she essentially prevented the truth from coming out. He almost seemed like he would have been open to facing the High Council. Even moments before Osha killed him, he seemed to accept his death. He told her it's okay. And in the past, he told Indara, let me face the High Council for what I've done. So I think had she left him alive the way that May wanted, that would have allowed the truth to come out. But now, yet again, the truth is buried in a sea of lies, you could say, right? And this scene with Soul was actually foreshadowed in the beginning of the episode when Osha had a vision of who she thought was May killing somebody, but it turns out that she was actually seeing herself in a future vision. That brings me to the next point, which is Osha's choice this episode. So you could argue that Osha finally chose for herself this episode. As a kid, she grew up with the Witch Coven, obviously, and she wanted to join the Jedi, but there were those in the Coven that didn't want her to join the Jedi. In the end, Mother Anastasia supported her choice, but there were others like Mother Coral who did not, and May also didn't. And the sad irony is that in everything that May tried to do to prevent Osha from being a Jedi, she never was able to be a Jedi in the end. She explained why this episode. She could not get over her emotions over what happened, or at least what she was told happened. It's ironic because May got what she wanted, which was for her sister to not be a Jedi, but Soul didn't get what he wanted because he wanted her to be a Jedi. And so when it comes to choice, Soul was kind of trying to choose for her, saying that she should be his Padawan and whatnot, and she would be a really good Jedi. But for this episode, it seems as though she's finally making a choice for herself and what she feels is best for her. And that seems to be going off with Qimir for the time being. And I guess it kind of makes sense as a way to end this first season, because Qimir talked to her about how we have all these emotions and we should be allowed to give into them, so to speak. And that's what we saw Osha do this episode. She gave into her emotions, and I think probably the main emotion was anger and also sadness as well when she learned the truth of her mother and Soul being responsible for her death. That was just ultimately, I think, too much for her to bear, and she probably was processing how she had been lied to all these years, and that's what prevented her from being a Jedi in the first place, and that just kind of led her to killing him, which is obviously very dark, but it makes sense as to why she went off with Qimir, because that's exactly what he told her to do. That was the point of his teaching, and she also killed him without a weapon. We also saw her bleed the Kyber crystal of her lightsaber, which I don't believe we've ever seen that. Yeah, we've never seen that actually happen in a Star Wars project before, although we've heard of it happening even in the Ahsoka novel. When that's how she got her new lightsabers. She killed an Inquisitor and then basically purified the crystals and turned them from red to white. So in this episode of The Acolyte, we saw the reverse happen. She kind of bled them red. And so yeah, it definitely gives a new meaning and perspective, you could say, to red sabers, or the red saber, I should say. But I don't know if we were to interpret that everybody with red sabers has somehow freed themselves by releasing their emotions, you know, or is everybody's story different? Because that's the only thing with, you know, Anakin having red lightsabers, I guess would make sense because obviously his path to the dark side, there's a lot of emotion involved there. There's a lot of reasons why he fell in the end, and Padme had a lot to do with it, and Ahsoka had a lot to do with it. He also didn't trust the Jedi, so he had a lot of emotions running through him that I think he ended up releasing. But I don't know, like Maul, for example, Maul in The Phantom Menace, episode 1, he has these red blades, so does that mean that he has kind of given into his emotions that he had bottled up. I'm not really sure what that means going forward for the red saber, but nonetheless it was an interesting scene to see that unfold and to see the saber change in that way. So in the episode though, they chose to ultimately wipe May's memory, which I don't know how I feel about that decision overall, because May pretty much ended up where Osha was in episode 1, which was being accused of these crimes that she didn't commit, or I guess in May's case she doesn't know anything, right, because she has no memory, whereas in Osha's case she had her memory but she knew she didn't commit these crimes. So they kind of have swapped roles essentially, and this episode confirms that Osha was meant to be the acolyte all along, you could argue. But yeah, I'm not so sure wiping her memory is a good idea, because I think if anything it leaves her more vulnerable. She can't really defend herself and advocate for herself because she doesn't know what happened. I think it makes it easier for the Jedi like Vernestra to lie to her in a similar way that Osha was lied to, so they could have potentially recreated the exact same problem by doing this. I also wonder how they're going to plan on finding her, and if that's the case, what then? Are they going to try and recruit her? If that's the case, then why didn't they just recruit her right then and there when they had the chance? I kind of wonder what Osha's goal is as well. She's going off with Qimir to train, I guess, and learn from him. Why couldn't she take her sister with her? I get they didn't want to be a target, but yeah, I'm not sure if wiping her memory and sending her back with the Jedi was the best option. Maybe if somehow May could have gone off on her own and gone into hiding while Osha went off with Qimir, so at least they're separate and not together for them to detect that force vergence. But I will say though, I think that their scenes were pretty emotional, especially that scene by the tree, which we saw in episode 3, and then again last episode. I really like those scenes, to see them embracing each other and also saying their little rhyme again, which definitely hits deeper now, the always one but born as two rhyme. And that scene was kind of sad because it almost is reflective of what you would go through if you had a loved one that had Alzheimer's and they had no memory of you. So seeing May kind of lose her memory and Osha realizing this was definitely sad to watch. It seems as though by the end of the episode though, when Vernestra is speaking to May, she does still have some memories, but these memories are from when she was 8 years old. And so if that's the case, I do wonder how she didn't know she had a sister, because when Vernestra is speaking to her, she mentions her sister and then she says my sister. So if she was supposed to still have memories at age 8, she should have known her sister, right? But yeah, overall that was good, that was emotional. I like to see that both of them and everybody in the episode essentially came back to where it all began, which was Brendok. Something else significant from the episode, you can definitely see why by the time we get to the prequel era, the Jedi have a lot more restrictions and have a lot more oversight, you could say. And I think it kind of is because of situations like this. Just like the senator said, that a Jedi shouldn't really be just unchecked power. That's what was his perspective. What's ironic is the way that he described the Jedi is also how the Jedi described the Witch Coven, which was a cult that basically had this power that was going unchecked. And so I do appreciate the show for that. They kind of show us how the Jedi end up where they do, both in the prequel era and having all that extra oversight, and also it explains Order 66 and how the citizens kind of looked the other way when it happened. You know, and this is something the Clone Wars did as well. They were trying to show that not everybody was favorable of the Jedi, and so definitely this show did create a greater understanding of these things. One question I have though is, what was Basil up to this episode? Kind of random, right? I feel like he's just off doing his own thing. It seemed as though he kind of made Soul crash, so I don't know if he was on May's side, but then he was also helping the Jedi track them down. So maybe he doesn't really have loyalty. Maybe he literally just, I don't know, tracks when he's needed. Yeah, that part kind of confused me a little bit. But overall, guys, I would say that was actually a pretty solid episode for the season. Probably the strongest one, I would say. And I think they did a pretty good job at wrapping a lot of things up while also leaving it open for another season, which is pretty much how you're supposed to do it with a finale. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the possibility of another season if they do decide to have one. And I kind of, dare I say it, like Osha and Qimir as a team. I would like to see more of them now that they both have more of an understanding of each other. And like I said, I would like to see more of Qimir's past and what happened between him and Vernestra. But yeah, guys, as always, you let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the episode and what you thought of the first season as a whole. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you guys for the next video. Until next time, guys, take care, see you soon, and may the Force be with you.